The end of the year approaching, should you buy or sell right now when the cold's about to hit, it's about to be snowy? Should you buy or sell before the end of the year? We're going to talk about that because we have data up to November 24th. We're going to dig in, dive in, and I'm going to show you what it's all about. Of course, I'm Reed Perry. I help growing families in Spokane land their bigger, better house without the stress. But aside from that, let's get into the data. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at the trends over the past year. That's what I love to do. Man, this light coming in from the windows making me look like a ghost. Not loving it. But let's start. So we got Spokane County over the past year. And you can see that it goes August, September, and then we start to dip. That was 2023. So here's this year. Obviously, more homes are on the market. More homes are for sale, which we've seen trend up, which I talked about in the last video. But you can see that these homes are not selling at the same rate. If you look at 823 and 824, it almost looks like there were more homes that actually sold. That's this dark green bar last year than this August, even though there were more homes for sale. So I like to look at that trend. Obviously, there's a little bit more pending overall, and things are going in the right direction. But as you know, we're starting to see that dip into the holiday season and the colder weather before February hits and things start bumping up. So what I always say is if you can buy in this market right now and do business in the colder weather when maybe only the strong survive, this is a good time because there's a lot more options and a lot less homes are selling. So supply and demand, you're looking good. You're going to be able to go out and get yourself a good deal, maybe some closing costs from the seller to buy down your mortgage rate, and you're going to be, sitting fat and happy. Let's look at Spokane as a whole, the market, 11/1 through 11/24 compared to last month, and then we'll get year over year. But right now there's 9% less homes for sale and 22% less sold. So this month we had a decrease of 22, almost 23% of actual home sales. A lot of that could have been from the election, but really what we're thinking is it's starting to get colder. People are thinking about the holidays. There's a lot going on, and not everyone wants to move during the holiday season. It's great for some people, but not everyone wants to do so. And then pendings were down about 6.5%. When you look at year over year, this is what I was talking about above. So we're up 27% with the amount of homes that are for sale, the amount of homes that are available for buyers to go look at, tour, and purchase. Even though we're up 27%, we're still down 2% for home sales year after year. And then we're up slightly 5% with pendings. So Reed, what does that tell me? Well, it tells me there's a lot more people putting their homes on the market. It tells me that homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. That's how our inventory is able to creep up and reach that, 1,300 mark. That's 27% more than last year. It's also saying, hey, people aren't making that buying decision right now as quickly as they once were, say, last year. So in order to keep pace, we would have needed to sell about 7 more homes up to this point, but pretty darn consistent with last year. And if you know anything about buying during the holidays, it's that the competition is lower. If you're a home seller, it's a little bit harder to sell because you have less people looking. But overall, more homes for sale, just about the same are being sold. So homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer and not selling quite as fast. So now we're gonna stay in Spokane, and then I always like to go 400 to 600 because I think that's a great mini market to look at in Spokane. So let's run the numbers. Excuse me for a sec while the internet loads. And now we can go through trends, and it's basically the same trends, but look at this. I love looking for these dark green bars. These dark green bars are home sales. So as you can see, steady decrease from August of last year. But look at this, we're still doing well. There's August and there's a decrease, and then look, it bumped up in October. So overall, we're having some more home sales. We'll be interested to see what it looks like in November, and we'll get to that really quick. But in the $400,000 to $600,000 range, look how many homes are for sale. In September and October, just absolutely crushes compared to last year. So there's more options. If you're a buyer, now is the time to go take a look and see what's out on the market because there's a ton out there for you to go check out. So I always look at this data table, gives you all the good insights because I'm a numbers nerd. Okay, so let's look at this month compared to last month. 10% decrease in homes for sale. So there's not as many homes on the market compared to last month. Home sales are really down. November has been a really tricky month for home buyers and home sellers. So we're down 33% in homes sold in the $400,000 to $600,000 range. Take that how you will. Obviously, I can't keep blaming everything on the election, but I do know that it's getting cold. People were wondering about the election. I think people are still wondering about what's going to happen with rates, what's going to happen when Trump takes office. And we have Thanksgiving and Christmas is on its way as well. We have 6% more pending, which is a good sign. And then if you look at year over year, we have 24.6% more homes for sale than last year at this time, which that's an incredible increase. There's 100 more homes to choose from if you're in that price range. 16% decrease in home sales. So the homes are out there, they're just not selling quite as fast, and not many people are getting out there and buying those homes. But there's a 28% increase in pendings. So we had less sold, but that means that there's a lot more pending, and those are going to show up in the December numbers when we look at those. Here we can go look at, homes for sale, 553. Compare that to 442 of last year. And obviously we looked at November data, but this only goes up to October. Months of inventory, pending sales 3, months of inventory closed sales 2.5. So we're like really close to a balanced market. We're still slightly in that seller's market in this price range. And then if you go to average price, 496, average sold price is 482. And then this bingo number that I always like to look at, sold to original list price differential, 98%. Sellers, you're probably going to have to come down 2% of your list price. And buyers, anything you see out there, you can probably get 2% off. That's what the numbers are telling us. And so I would take those and run with them. And then median sold price, 467. So while we're in that $400,000 to $600,000 range, median sold price is 467. So there's more homes closer to that 400 mark than the 600 mark that are selling, which is to be expected. So let's go look at 600 to 800. To 800, I think this is another great mini market. I think the 400 to 600 is a lot of families who they bought a starter home 3 to 5 years ago. They started having kiddos. It's starting to get a little bit small. And now they're looking in that $400,000 to $600,000 range because they need bedrooms, they need space, they need a yard, they need a fenced yard because they have a dog, they have kids, they need somewhere to get out and about. And so that $400,000 to $600,000 range is that next step up from the starter home. And then the 600 to 800 is sometimes people jumping from that starter home up, or people who have bought that second home and they're looking for maybe some upgraded amenities, or maybe a better neighborhood with better walking, or maybe just more space. And so we're gonna look in this mini market as well. Let's pull up the numbers. And thanks for sticking with me. I mean, I love numbers, and if there's anything that you want some information on, I'm happy to give it. This is just how I look at the numbers as a realtor. So this gives you a good idea of, what's going on in the market, and it's stuff that you just can't get on your own. Look in the trend, it's very similar, but these are the light green is the homes for sale. So homes for sale way up. And then as you can see, these solid bars, the solid green, dark green, homes sold are looking pretty good year over year. It looks like there was a little bit of a dip in August and September compared to last August and September. Things are looking pretty consistent. So we'll see how they play out over the next coming months, especially with holidays and everything like that. So let's look at the data up to today, 11/24. We're down 14% with the amount of homes for sale. So less homes than last month. We sold the same amount. So flat even compared to last month. We're down with the amount of pendings compared to last month. And so let's go look at year over year right here. This is where I'm at in this light green. We are up 18% in homes for sale, and we're up 51% in homes sold. So that's interesting. Compared to the 400 to 600,000 market, the 600 to 800,000 market is seeing a huge increase in the amount of homes sold. So this could be people who have been sitting on the sidelines for a long time, maybe waiting for interest rates to go down, and they haven't really done it. But these people are so ready to move that they are buying in this price point regardless of the time of year or interest rates, because when you got to move, you got to move. And so I think that's why that number is so high. And then the amount of pendings is down 18%. So the first part of November was really hot mini market. And let's go look at the October 2024 compared, to 2023. 273 homes in October 24 were for sale compared to 241. Months of inventory, we're at 3.8 and 3.5, so very balanced. But if you look back just a year ago, we were 5.1 and 5.7 months of inventory. And like I said, months of inventory is just how quickly would we run out of homes for sale if no one listed another home and no more buyers came onto the scene. So the buyers would eat up all those homes in 5.7 months, which is pushing a buyer's market, like big time buyer's market. This is still balanced, pushing towards seller's market. And we look at down here, average sold price 684, so we're still a little bit closer to that 600,000, which is to be expected. And then this number sold to original list price, blah 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 blah, is 97. So sellers, price competitively, because no matter what, you're probably going to come down 3%, and it hurts a lot less when you price it competitively and you come down 3% than when you try to overprice it and you end up coming down 10%. That kind of hurts. And obviously the last thing you want to do is this house that you love, that you care so much about, you want it to sell. You want it to be wanted. The last thing you want to do is sit on the market for 60 to 90 days and feel like no one else likes your house in this entire city. Well, it's probably because of price, location, or condition. And a lot of the times right now, it's been price, because people still want to get those high prices. And right now, buyers just aren't looking for that. They don't care. They will sit and they will wait until they find a deal or something that is priced correctly. And so you have median sold price of 685. So I always love looking at these numbers. I'm super curious if you're in any of those price points. So that's the market report up to November 24th. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. We're coming up on, December, where everyone thinks about the holidays and Christmas and New Year and all of that stuff. If you can handle it and you can buy during this time, I think it's a really good time for people who can handle it. If you don't want the stress, wait, because there will still be more homes. But right now there's a lot of inventory, a lot of things to choose from, and there's not as many buyers. Buyer, you have more options. As a seller, things are a little bit tougher sledding because there's more options for people to choose from. You don't have that supply and demand necessarily on your side as much as you did in the past. Curious where you're at. Drop it in the comments, what price point you're looking at, what area. I would love to chat with you about, different areas and price points, or if there's a piece of data that you're curious about and I didn't cover in this video, drop it in the comments. Contact me. All my information is down below. I will be back next week to talk about the beginning of December and see where we're at. As always, I'm Reed Perry. Have a wonderful day. See you on the next one.